We're now going to look at how we deal with non-right angled triangles. And the first rule we're going to look at is called the sine rule. We can use the sine rule to find sides or angles, but we need to know either one side and two angles or two sides and one angle. Now you'll notice in this diagram that we've labelled the triangle ABC. We use capital letters for the angles A, B and C, and lowercase letters for the sides. Now notice that side A is facing angle A. Likewise, angle B opens out to face side B, and angle C opens out to face side C. Now to use the sine rule, we need one of those pairs plus one other item. So we either need to know a side A and the angle that faces it, or side B and the angle that faces it, or side C and the angle that faces it. So if we've got one of those pairs, we can use the sine rule. Let's look at that in an example. You can see in this triangle that we have an angle of 40 degrees here, an angle of 110, and a side over here of 7. Notice that side of 7 corresponds with this angle of 40, so we have a pair. The other piece of information or item we have is the 110 degree angle. So labelling our triangle as ABC, we've got side A over here, and angle A is not known. We've got angle C here and side C here of 7. We've also got up here angle B, which is 110, and side B is the one we want to find. So the pair that we know is side C and angle C. So C on sine C gives us 7 over sine 40, and we can make that equal to the other pairs. In this case we're going to use B and sine B. Side B is x, sine B is sine of 110. What we do now is cross multiply. That means when two fractions are equal, the multiplied diagonals are also equal. So x multiplied by sine 40 is going to be equal to the other diagonal, which is 7 times sine 10. To make x the subject, we're going to divide both sides by sine of 40. And so we get x is 7 sine 110 over sine 40, which is 4.79 centimetres. Now we can skip this step in the middle here if we like. If we wanted to find x, we multiply the diagonal that we know the values of and divide by the remaining item, which is the sine 40. So to find x, we multiply 7 with sine 110, and then we divide by sine 40. Let's have a look at another example. In this case, I've labelled the triangle ABC, and we can see that we have an angle up here of 28, that's angle A, and side A is what we want to find, we'll call that x. We've got angle B, which is 125 degrees, and side B up here, we've got, what have we got for that? 27. Okay, so do we have a side angle pair? Well, yes we do. We have B, which is 27, and we have angle B, which is 125. So I'm going to use that pair, and I'm going to use A and sine A. So B on sine B is 27 over sine of 125, and that equals the unknown side x divided by the sine of its angle, which is the 28. Remembering that if I want to find x, I multiply the diagonal that I know the values of, so 27 multiplied by sine 28 and divide by sine of 125. That gives me 15.47 centimetres. Looking at another example, in this case, rather than trying to find a side, we're going to try and find the angle theta, which is really angle C. Okay, so notice we can use the sine rule because we have this side of 18 and we have the angle that opens out to it, which is 55. So we have a side and angle pair. So that side angle pair is little side A and angle A. Now this time I'm not going to bother writing little a and little b and little c. I'm merely going to take the pair that I know, which is this side of 18 and 55. So that means the ratio or fraction 18 over sine 55 is equal to the other pairs. Now the pair that I'm interested in is this pair with a side of 12 and the angle over here that faces it. So I'll write 12 over sine theta. So these two are equal to each other. I want to find sine theta, so I'm going to multiply the diagonal that I know, which is 12 times sine 55, write it up here, and divide it by the other item, which was the 18. So sine theta equals this stuff here. But I want to find the actual angle theta, so I don't want this sine here. I've got to undo that by taking the inverse of sine. So the angle itself is equal to the inverse sine of that stuff there. And that gives me 27.1. So on your calculator in the trig section you'll see the sign with a little -1 up the top. That's when you want to actually find the angle.